That's the Average White Band from the current album, Person to Person, the live one, Cut the Cake, and they're hardly average. And to prove it, we have a good representation of the group here in the studio today. Not looking as they look on the cover, of course, frolicking in the surf. They're in mucklucks. They look as if they just came from the North Pole. But anyway, welcome, Hamish, again to America. Steve.
Hi.
And Ani is hanging around in the background here, twirling his beard. And I'm delighted to have you back in America.
Nice to be back.
Now, of course, our audience have met you before. Most of them, I'm sure, they're all very aware of your music. But you came to see me when the very first album came out.
Yeah.
And I remember we talked then, but I'm just going to refresh everybody's memory for those who just really got tuned into the AWB. How did you happen to call yourselves the Average White Band?
It was a little joke. Just everybody sitting around trying to think of a name all night, and eventually somebody stood up exasperated and said, "This is too much for the average white man," and that was it.
As I said, that you're hardly average, and none of about the only thing that's a truism in this is that you're a band, and I don't even know about that. Steve, I never met you before. Have you been in the band since the beginning?
No. I joined the band, was it January the 1st?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah, right. Now, I can't, I've been trying to identify your accent.
British.
British?
Yeah.
And, of course, Hamish, there's no doubt about. Is there now?
No, definitely it's German.
It's German, yeah. I remember we talked about the low incidence of rock bands coming out of Scotland. You know, we were trying to name the relative few, you know, and what the rock scene was like there. And Ani, of course, has been with you from the beginning, too.
Yeah.
Actually, there's been very little personnel change.
Just
in
Steve,
AWB, just Steve, right. Now, you're here on tour.
Yeah, well, we're going to be out for just a week.
It's a short tour.
A short tour. And then we're going to start cutting another studio album.
This album is a kind of a mixture of a lot of different gigs, isn't it?
Yeah, three or four.
Yeah.
The bulk of the things from 2 shows. So.
Do you have anything to say about what goes in these live albums? I mean, as far as, well, let's take this one from this city and that one from that city, or is it the producers who do that?
Well, ourselves and the producer, Arif, get together on it, and between us all, we decide which ones we're going to use. We may have had pick up the pieces from 3 or 4 cities, and we decided which
was the best?
Which pieces
you want to pick up,
yeah,
right? I knew you were going to say that. On the overall picture, looking at you must end up with barrels of tapes from tour such as this one was. Have you noticed any pattern, any particular city where you seem to perform more than better, have more fun than any other city?
Yeah, well, Ohio is a very good state.
Is
for
that
us,
right?
Yeah.
What?
Strangely enough.
Where in Ohio?
Cleveland's
fantastic. Cincinnati.
We did a college out there that was incredible as well.
There was big steel town.
Pittsburgh?
No,
in Ohio?
Pittsburgh's a great place too.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's good for us as well.
Look at this! Look at all the plugs we're getting in for the people, all our fans in Pittsburgh and Cleveland. That's marvelous. We're going to take a moment here, gentlemen, for a word from Army Reserve, with your permission. The Average White Band, and that's the title tune of the current album, Person to Person. And judging from the reception, it's gotten even in its early stages. It's going to be a big hit for them. You've had gold albums, of course, before.
Yes.
They say so modestly. And you're going to cut a new studio album now.
Yeah.
Do you think since you started, now what is it, about, this is maybe your 3rd year, right?
No, the band's been together. It'll be, in May or June, we'll be 5 years old.
5 years old, but I mean, it was really that first album hit about 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Has your approach to the music changed a great deal since then? Have your ideas about what music should be on the concert scene changed any?
Not what it should be. Well, your ideas change a little bit and just develop a bit about what it should be, but we find new influences all the time and new directions. Just little things that change the music slightly.
Mm-hmm. What's been your influence, Steve, as far as your concept of music? You know, what do you see as the ideal kind of music for the masses today?
I don't know. The trend seems to be going to the music what you can dance to is you know, I mean, that's
disco
something
thing.
that's very, I mean, even to us when we make tracks, you know, if it doesn't make us jig around, then it doesn't feel
yeah.
right. But I think now there's a lot more people want to participate in the music. They want to
Yeah.
feel something from the music. They want to feel like it makes them want to do something.
Yeah, AWB was never a message group. The only message was to have a good time. We're going to take
Very important message.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of messages, I have one now that I think is rather important for our listeners, if you'll just excuse me for a moment. And it's about... We went back to the Soul Searching album for that one, A Love of Your Own, AWB, and I think that's one of the fine points of the band is that even maybe after, I'm looking ahead, Hamish and Steve and Ani, after about 10 albums, I think we'll still be playing the first one. Because somehow I don't think that your music is ever going to pass into nothingness.
Hope not.
Yeah, I hope not, too. I hope not. Because I think that what you said before about having a good time and participating is also very important. What difference do you see in the fans of today, as opposed to 5 years ago when you started? How do you think the kids have changed, if they have?
Kids.
And when I say kids, you know, that means anything up to 50. I mean, people
Yeah.
who get into music are all kids at heart. They get onto it.
I think audiences used to sit around a lot in the late 60s.
Yeah.
You know, well, in Britain it had got to be a very... It got very fashionable not to participate and to sit down and take everything very seriously, and as it hanging on every note as if it was...
Yeah, right, yeah.
But now it's much more. It is much more of a participation thing.
Yeah, I had audiences. Some of the audiences that we've had. I mean, on the live album, they can pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Where there's a part in there where they were singing, and
Yeah.
it's been edited down because it was so long. We just left the stage and we went to the back of the stage and stretched out the back of the stage, and they were singing for about 5 minutes, pick up the pieces all on their own.
Oh,
It
that's
was-
marvelous.
It was amazing.
That's marvelous. What's happened now? Have you been home, for instance, since all this fame and success?
A couple of times, yeah.
Yeah.
I just got. We just got back.
And what's the reaction in the hometown there? Glasgow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we worked Glasgow last June. It was incredible. It was really good. It was nice to go home and be able to.
And they were really proud of you.
Yeah.
They better be. We're gonna take a moment here for a word from Army Reserve. So nice to see you all again. I wish you all the luck, and we'll look forward to the next studio album.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Steve and Ani. AWB. And this is the Nightbird, Alison Steele, reminding you that in the Army Reserve, part of what you earn is pride.